You mentioned several times that your organization bases decisions on, among other things, science. So do you believe that science and scientists within your department should feel free and unafraid of political interference to present their science, even if it includes the words climate change?
I'm a strong believer of science. And quite frankly, I was criticized because it was my right as Interior to look at a USGS document as it pertained to Alaska prior to publication. I didn't change a comma, but I did want to know this. Given the same data, why were the energy resources so radically different between one study and a study that was done just a few years prior? What methodology did they use as a geologist? What methodology did they use for making sure those resources are recoverable?
So there was you referred to a USGS report wherein the report stated that, quote, global climate change drives sea level rise, increasing the frequency of coastal flooding. This was a scientific study that was done by USGS. And your department released a press release on this report, but it excluded the reference to global climate change drive sea level rise. This is why I asked the question, that reports that use the terms climate change, do you edit those out? Do you censor that
I don't
kind of
believe the
language?
report itself that you're speaking was edited at all.
No, an
The
entire
press release
sentence.
could have been interpreted because it is a press release and not the report, but any reference, any allegation that one of the reports...
Excuse me, I have to correct you, Mr. Secretary, because the paper's abstract did have that sentence, which you excluded from your press release. Now, this isn't the first time that the issue of whether or not this administration actually believes that climate change is science-based. So this is why we have some concerns about what the policy of your department is, whether your scientists are able to make certain statements based on their science that includes the terms climate change. If you're sitting here telling me that you do not censor or edit out references to climate change, great. Please answer yes or no.
So are you suggesting that we changed the document itself?
I am asking you whether the words climate change is somehow not acceptable in your department and your various releases, and your preference would be within your department not to refer to climate change.
I don't have a problem with climate change. I've always said
Great.
three things. Climate's changing, as it always has. It's changing in ways we don't understand, and man has been an influencer on this. I don't think those are in dispute.
Good, so
in the
you
Department
would
of
not be
Interior.
sitting here editing out those kinds of references in various publications that you
There
have.
is no incident at all that I know that we ever changed a comma on a document itself. Now, we may have, on a press release, this is how we announce it, but I don't know of any document we've changed, and I challenge you, any member, to find a document that we've actually changed on a report. And I read them all. I don't change a comma of them. But I can tell you, as Secretary of Interior, I know I have the right, because they work for me, to read it prior to, and I have questions on it. And I'm a geologist. Why did they come up to this conclusion?
Well,
I think I have a right to know. And your staff would do the same thing.
Based on everything we know about this administration's views on climate change, it would not, it would comport with that view that words such as climate change would not be included in press releases from your department.